This episode of the Dungeoncast has been brought to you by Hero Forge. Hero Forge has fully customizable tabletop miniatures with dozens of fantasy races and thousands of parts to choose from. Their easy-to-use design tool lets you build the perfect miniature online using a fully 3D in-depth character creator right in your web browser. There are plastic and metal options for your custom mini. And Hero Forge even offers downloadable model files for users to 3D print their unique designs at home. Plus, they're constantly expanding the catalog of customization options. They're adding new parts every week and major features like races and custom posing on a regular basis. All you have to do is go to heroforge.com and you can start designing your custom mini today. It's super easy. And don't forget to check back and visit them every now and again because they're always adding new content. One more time, that's heroforge.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dungeoncast. I'm Will.
I'm Brian.
This is a podcast where we talk about everything Dungeons and Dragons, from festering flesh to fiery flails. And today we're covering Fomorians. Hey, Brent, what year is it?
It's the year of the big guy.
And we got more big guys. I know we talked about all the true giants, but there's more, maybe less true giants, but still giants.
False giants.
False giants for the rest of this year. And we're starting today with the Fomorian.
Okay.
So have you heard about the Fomorian? Do you know what a Fomorian is?
It's another alliteration from a previous age that we've used.
So you've heard the word, but don't know anything attached to the word.
I use the word. I know. I mean,
Gotcha.
I know it's a big guy.
It is a big guy.
You did drop a stat block down in front of me that I haven't looked at.
Yeah, that's true. I did. I haven't taken a gander at it either.
So I know it's a big monster.
It is a big monster. So Fomorians are one of the many giant kin in Dungeons and Dragons, and definitely amongst the most powerful of the non-true giants. I made the same joke, false giants. It's in my
Nice.
It's written right there. The godless Fomorians are considered by many to be the most hideous and wicked of all giant kin, and their misshapen and malformed bodies are said to reflect their vile demeanors and souls. As with many monsters, deities, and other creatures in D&D, there's a bit of a split in the lore for Fomorians.
Okay.
First through third editions Fomorians are pariahs amongst giant kind who dwell deep underground and are only ever tolerated by ogres and hill giants.
Oh.
While fourth edition decided to give them a magical and fey spin, these Fomorians, though just as vile and wretched as the previous editions, are far more arrogant and powerful of creatures that rule entire underground empires in the Feydark, which is the Fey equivalent of the Underdark.
Okay, so you have a fey bubble in reality, if you will.
Yeah, sure.
And then it permeates the ground in a spherical nature. So it's like where the Underdark collides with like where the fey would be, kind of? Or is it just like its own separate sort of...
So the Fey is a reflection of our reality, and Underdark is part of D&D reality. Thus it has a Fey reflection.
Okay, cool.
So does the shadow. There's a Shadow Dark as well.
Nice. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where was I? Oh yeah. So 5e seems to have continued this whole Fey origin thing started in 4th edition, but regardless of which version you run in a game, the concept of the Fomorian is based loosely on creatures of ancient Irish mythology of the same name.
Okay, cool.
So the Fomorians of Irish mythology were a supernatural race of humanoids, often portrayed as hostile and monstrous beings who would come from either under the sea or from deep within the earth. Later on, they were portrayed as giants and sea raiders. Regardless, they were said to be the enemy of Ireland's first settlers, causing much mayhem and destruction, and also the opponents of the Tuatha Dé Danann. The Tuatha Dé Danann. Oh God, I've said it wrong twice now. Tuatha Dé Danann.
Tuatha Dé Danann.
So who were the other major supernatural race of Irish mythology believed to represent the good deities of pre-Christian Gaelic Ireland?
Okay. So
the Fomorians seem to have been gods who represented the harmful or destructive powers of nature, personifications of chaos, darkness, death, blight, and drought. The Tuatha Dé, for short, in contrast, seem to represent the gods of both growth and civilization. So you kind of got your yin and yang, your good and evil.
I got you. Okay.
However, the relationship between the two types of beings is complex, and some members from either group have tales of both intermarrying and procreation between the two.
All right.
Thus, the Fomorians have also been likened to the Jotnar, or giants, which is why they're giants in D&D, of Norse mythology by historians. As said before, Fomorians were often portrayed as monstrous in appearance. Sometimes they were said to have the bodies of a man and heads of goats.
Ooh.
And, yeah. Or to have one eye, which is, you'll see a bit of that.
Like Cyclopean style.
Kind of cyclopean, and you're going to see a little bit of eye lore when it comes to D&D Fomorians, and only one arm and one leg, which I don't see how that's very threatening, if you ask me.
Have you ever seen like I was going to say quadruped, but it would be like half of that. It's like a bipedal, but on the side. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
What?
Like if it's got one arm and one leg, it can go down like
on the side. Okay, that would be horrible. If it was functioning and actually worked, that'd be horrifying.
Like if you had to, I'm not gonna say the thing I just thought.
Okay, all right.
Like try to make a bicycle comparison, a bad one.
Okay, all right. Now, there isn't really a lot in common between the real-life mythos of the Fomorian and the D&D monster, but I think that you will find that there are definitely bits and pieces of this concept in both versions of the D&D Fomorian we'll talk about today.
Okay.
So you're going to see little bits and pieces of like, oh, I could kind of see they got this from there, yada, yada, yada.
Sure.
Yeah. So regardless of edition and lore, the physical depiction of Fomorians is more or less cohesive in their inception, which is to say it's not cohesive at all. That's kind of their thing.
Great.
Fomorians are all grossly deformed behemoths, each with a different unique set of deformities. Some have facial features randomly distributed around their misshapen warty heads. Others have limbs of grossly different sizes and shapes or emit terrible howls each time they draw breath through their misshapen mouths. Commonly, Fomorians have purple or grayish skin. Often frequently observed deformities amongst the Fomorians are humpbacks, crooked twisted limbs, and hairlessness. One of the few uniform physical features of the Fomorians is that one of a Fomorian's two eyes is always larger and more vile than the other. And unlike its counterpart, this evil eye, if you will, has a cat-like iris and an unnatural coloration that varies from individual to individual.
Oh, that's whack.
Fomorian's evil eye has magical power and can cause massive psychic damage to its target, amongst other things. There is no single odor associated with Fomorians. Some smell strongly due to overactive sweat glands. Others have no smell at all. Their voices are also each different due to their unique deformities.
Right. So like why they're howling when they breathe because
exactly.
They're constricted or something like that.
Yeah, woe has come to the Fomorians.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the average height of a Fomorian is roughly 13 feet, though, and they weigh roughly 1,000 pounds.
Pretty big.
Pretty big guys.
Yeah.
So the Fomorians of first to third edition are essentially brutish meatheads. They pretty much fill the same niche as a hill giant, an Etten, or an ogre.
Okay.
I think if there's any true difference in the demeanor between Fomorians and their fellow brutish giantkin, it's that while much of an Ettens or ogres or hill giants' acts of barbarism are usually done out of anger, hunger, or a general lack of morals,
okay,
Fomorians are far more prone to cruelty and wickedness for the genuine enjoyment of it. Their society is outright evil. Depravity and wickedness rules Fomorian society. The strongest and cruelest rule over all the others within their reach, and women and children are treated as slaves in each household. Acts of violence, sometimes resulting in permanent injury or death, are common amongst Fomorians.
Okay.
They're nasty and mean.
And they're mean to each other.
Yeah. Despite their cruel and violent disposition, Fomorian giants have been known to work with other creatures, but usually for evil causes.
Okay, or are we seeing a parallel to other giants there? Like, were hill giants mean to each other too?
Hill giants are kind of mean to each other, but
only in an ordning sort of way, right?
In an ordning sort of way. And again, it's the biggest, meatiest of the boys that are in charge.
Yeah, and it's not like meanness necessarily, but like, you better do what I say.
Yeah, they're just crude and rude. While Fomorians
nice rhyme.
While Fomorians are actively wicked and cruel and enjoying the act of being wicked and cruel.
Okay, that's more evil.
Exactly, they're more like traditionally evil. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So most of the time, those looking to work with one or more of these twisted giants must completely dominate them, or at the very least be capable of doing so to form the alliance. Like, otherwise they won't serve you.
Right.
And as one would expect, such an agreement lasts only for as long as the Fomorians fear their cohorts. Once their interests no longer coincide or the Fomorians no longer feel threatened, they double-cross their partners as quickly as possible.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, they're just not to be trusted. Much like the troglodytes, bad hire.
Bad hire. So maybe you have like a deal. They scratch your back, you scratch their back, and then when it's your turn to go scratch the back, you get into the place they can't fit and retrieve the item they want and give it to them, and they fucking squish you.
Exactly, because you got the thing they wanted. Exactly.
Right.
So these twisted giants, again, we are talking specifically about giants between first and third edition.
Okay.
again, after that, they get much different. So giants before 4th edition can live for weeks on little or no food. This is a good thing because their underground dwellings do not provide an abundance of food.
Okay.
They can eat almost any organic material, including fungi, lichens, plants of all sorts, bats, mice, and fish. They particularly savor the taste of large mammals, though, especially those that beg not to be eaten.
Is a large mammal like a person or like
Person's
a
large
horse?
mammal. A horse is also a larger mammal, if you will.
Because like if you want to get like D&D technical, they're medium.
No, that's a good point. I think it's not D&D technical. I think they just mean anything larger than a dog.
Okay, sure.
Preparing a meal usually involves torture rather than any efforts to actually improve the taste.
What the fuck?
Again.
I'm cooking my food by like breaking every bone in its body one at a time.
Yeah, they like the taste of despair, I suppose.
I need this to taste like sadness when I eat it. Oh.
So the truth is, though, that these early versions of the Fomorians have a particularly sorry lot in life. As I said before, they are so abominable that they are not tolerated by any but ogres, hill giants, and frost giants. And although all Fomorian settlements do exist, a large percentage of the Fomorian population can be found working as manual laborers in ogre encampments and hill and frost giant steadings. Most hold particularly dangerous or distasteful jobs such as kennel minder, dust sweeper, butcher, and torturer. And they, this
is standard,
the town torturer, and they work in exchange for table scraps and warm, although often filthy bedding. To make their sorry lot in life worse, their deformed physiques and complete lack of coordination tend to make them ill-suited for the miserable tasks that they're even given. Their keepers, though, seem, we're talking about hill giants, frost giants, and ogres,
right?
Seem to enjoy bullying them, so their place in Jotun society does remain secure in that way.
Okay, because they need somebody to shit on.
Yeah, it's they're the ones that get bullied a lot. And the Fomorians of pre-4th edition, they didn't have I didn't check to see if they have the eye thing still.
Okay.
But they certainly didn't have the magic that they do later.
All right.
They're a much more impressive creature after 3rd edition, but we're going to talk about that after the short rest.
Got it.
Gotcha.
Hey everybody, be sure to check out
Super Quest Saga, a future fantasy 5th edition D&D actual play podcast homebrewed and dungeon mastered by yours truly, me, and set in space.
And I play in it, along with your special guest Jake and friend of the show, Josh Freeland.
You can find it on YouTube, iTunes, or anywhere else you can get your podcasts.
Super Quest Saga!
We've returned.
Now we're back.
We're back. For reals.
Indeed. So 4th and 5th edition really spice these guys up and make them far more interesting, at least to me. The first and foremost of the changes is their origin in the Feywild and explanation for how they became so twisted and malformed, which they didn't bother to do.
I was going to say, we
before.
didn't really talk about Fey stuff at all.
No,
really?
not at all.
Yeah, I was like,
that's pre-4th edition.
That was going to be my question. I was like, well, let them get rolling.
Yeah,
and there it is.
Yeah, here it is. So it is said that the elves remember when the Fomorians were among the most handsome of races in the Fey, possessing beautiful forms, brilliant minds, and unrivaled magic.
Excellent. I love where this is going.
But their prowess and physical perfection did not extend to their hearts, and their greed and lust for magic and power consumed them entirely.
Oh no.
The Fomorians sought to conquer the Feywild and enslave its inhabitants, claiming those creatures' magic for themselves.
It's very un-Fey-like.
Yeah, I suppose so. Well, I mean,
conquering?
Evil Fey. Yeah, evil Fey conquer.
Okay.
Yeah. When the many races and peoples of the Fey united to defend their realm, the Fomorians fought them and lost and were subjected to a terrible curse. One by one, the giants fell as their bodies were warped to reflect the evil in their hearts. Stripped of their grace and magical power, the wretched horrors fled from the light, delving deep beneath the world to nurse their hatred. Cursing their fate, they have ever after plotted vengeance against the Fey that wronged them.
Much better. Okay. Yeah. I like this lore.
It's much juicier, much better.
5e giants are like the creatures that flew too close to the sun.
Yeah, very much so.
They like Icarus themselves into the bad zone.
Now, what this origin story reminds me of the most is ogres from Dragonlance.
Okay.
I feel like we've talked about this before.
It's been a while since the Ogres episode, though.
Yeah. So now in Dragonlance, the original ogres were one of the three major races made by the three greater gods of the setting. Paladin, god of good, made the elves. Galeen, god of neutrality, made humanity. And Takesis, the goddess of evil, made the ogres.
Okay.
And these original ogres were essentially blue super elves.
Nice.
They were the most.
This is ringing a bell.
Yeah, they were the most beautiful, magically gifted, and physically superior of all the peoples of Krynn, which is the world in which Dragonlance takes place. Unfortunately, they were also wicked, cruel, and arrogant beyond reason. They emulated their goddess very closely. They conquered much of the world and probably would have continued to do so if, in their arrogance, they had not chosen to spurn their creator goddess and see themselves as above her. So she got pissed. So she cursed them so that their outer appearance would reflect the evil in their hearts. They became the hideous monsters we associate with the name ogre today. She also took from them their magical abilities, and their empires went into decline. There was one small group of ogres who fled and turned to Meshakal, the wife of Paladin and good goddess of healing, to save them from the scorn of Takesis. They swore to change their evil ways henceforth. They were granted mercy and respite. Their beauty and power were preserved, and they became extremely secluded, living in isolation on an island of tropical paradise, magically protected from being found or approached. These people came to be known as the Urda.
The Urda?
Yeah, the Urda.
Okay.
And they're still blue super elves, and they're kind of assholes, but they're good people. They're just kind of jerks.
They're good assholes.
They're good assholes. So back to Fomorians. 4E and 5E states that Fomorians are an ancient and wicked race native to the Underdark of the Feywild. They dwell in eerily beautiful caverns of incredible size in the Feydark and Underdark, rarely venturing to surface. In the Feydark specifically, glowing crystals and bioluminescent fungi light their territory, where Fomorians rule as monarchs over courts of sinister Fey. Their lairs tend to feature abundant access to water, fish, and mushroom forests, as well as to creatures whose slave labor keeps the Fomorians fed. Now, this juxtaposits against what we said earlier about pre-4th edition, where Fomorians can go weeks without food.
Right, yeah.
So these are a very different creature in a way.
More like normal giants?
Yeah, I guess so. It's
don't
just
know,
like they're more in control of their own destiny.
Sure.
Yeah, and like they're like mighty kings, and they still got their magic and whatnot. So I guess so. Less ogre-like, more giant-like.
Yeah,
even though ogres are a giant kin, if you will. Wickedness and depravity are the cornerstones of Fomorian society, in which the strongest and cruelest giants rule. Emerging in the Feywild as perverse reflections of the mighty titans of ancient times, Fomorians consider themselves to be the most important beings of the universe. They mark their vast territories with the corpses of their enemies, painting their cavern walls with blood or stitching together limbs and body parts to make mockeries of the creatures they've killed.
Whoa, troglodytes up in here?
Well, no, troglodytes just...
They don't like sew their stuff together, but they do... You did list like a couple
blood
things.
Paint, not one thing. Blood.
Well, and they were scattering like the bones of their enemies around.
These people are making like disgusting simulacrum out of like body parts.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking hilarious to them. That's horrifying.
That is horrifying.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
they're making the worst scarecrows.
The worst. That's exactly right. They're making the worst scarecrows. But fuck, are they scary?
Oh god.
So when their slaves can no longer toil and work, they are slain and devoured. Fomorians enjoy unchallenged power in their subterranean realms. Their power sometimes extends to the surface, where they make war on Eladrin courts.
Oh, so war on Eladrin courts.
Mm-hmm, yeah, the Eladrin are like their sworn enemies.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the deformities visited on the Fomorians prevent them from hurling rocks like their giant can. It's actually a big deal to giants.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's like a real tender spot to the Fomorians.
Yeah, dude, that's a big crutch that they're going to have to carry emotionally.
That they can't throw rocks. Or it also prevents them from wearing much cloth besides like the scraps that they can like fit over their body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me would if me could. Me would throw rocks.
They're not stupid. They just can't put on clothes.
They don't have to be stupid to talk like that. I was thinking about the storm giant being just like dignified, but still talking and like like the brokenness.
I'm listening.
Like I hear prophecy. Me send you to place noted in prophecy.
That's no.
I like it. I think if I'd roleplayed these giants, I would definitely have them speak in broken like Big Trash.
Like Big Trash.
Yeah. Don't forget about Big Trash. He's coming.
Yeah, I know.
He's coming for your bones.
True. So, however, the grotesque positioning of their eyes, noses, and ears gives Fomorians keen perceptive abilities, making it hard to surprise or ambush them. I'm not sure how I feel about this. The idea is that the shit's so fucked up and pointing in every direction that they have senses going out in every direction.
Okay.
Like they might smell you going this way, they might hear you going this way, and they might see you from up here. That's the idea here.
All right.
I don't see that as functional, but they're magical fey giants. What do you want? I don't know.
They do they like secretly despise rocks? Do they like their longing for them makes them like clear their area of big stones?
I could see that, but I don't think so.
Like
no, they can't because they can't. Well, I suppose they could. No, I don't think they can. They can't do any
they have
heavy
slaves,
labor.
right?
They have slaves that can do it for them.
Yeah. So like they're thinking like they wander about. They're wandering about the Fae and they see a boulder and they get fucking sad as fuck.
They get so upset.
They see clothes and they're like,
Oh man, that's got to be rough. That's sad. So anyways, the greed and evil of the Fomorians lies at the heart of their degeneration and fall and continues to plague them. Fomorians make alliances with other creatures when it suits them, but they're disloyal by nature and betray their allies on a whim. Some lore states that their wicked ways and continued prowess with dark and powerful magics has led the Fomorians into creating other twisted races in the Fae, including gremlins and Zevorts.
sorry, gremlins?
Gremlins and Zevorts.
And Zevorts?
Yeah, so gremlins are wicked fey creatures created by the Fomorian king Thrumbolg from captured goblin slaves who were transformed and corrupted by powerful rituals.
Because they fed them after midnight.
I guess so. The gremlins that resulted were the tools by which Thrumbolg sowed unease and dissent within the cities of the Eladrin. Using them, he broke up powerful Fey alliances that were joined against him. However, Thrumbolg overestimated his ability to control the gremlins, and they wreaked havoc within the Fomorian king's own court before being driven out. Now scattered across the Feydark, the Feywild, and even the mortal realm, gremlins wreak havoc wherever they can.
Nice. Okay.
Zevorts
Sprinkle some gremlins about the plains.
Yeah. Whoops. Zevorts are warped cousins of gnomes. In ages past, they were captured by Fomorians, tortured, and then changed by fel magic. Same thing that happened to the goblins. Over time, they adapted to their new home in the Feydark by developing blue skin and saucer-like glaring yellow eyes. In some ways, Zevorts are pathetic creatures that can hardly be held accountable for their malice. Although some are still slaves to the Fomorians, many have escaped to the Feywild and even the material plane. They raid villages for food and treasure, seeking to dole out the same pain they endured at the Fomorians' hands.
Is that like a campaign thread to get the players to like the Fey or the Underdark? Or
Yeah,
like,
sure. I could see that, yeah.
like instead of just being attacked by goblins, where you would thenceforth be sent into the hills or mountain to like raid them or whatever it is that you do about the goblins, like you would this, and then in turn in here go to like where the Fey bubble and permeate it.
Sure,
or
maybe.
what have you.
I could see that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's gremlins coming out of the woods and someone wants it solved.
Quit leaving food out at night. Fucking gremlins everywhere. Okay. What are the things that are not the gremlins called that turn into the gremlins?
Oh, fuck. What are they called?
To the internet.
I just remember he named his gizmo.
Right. But they're not gizmos. So gremlin.
And Fizzgig is a creature from the Dark Crystal.
A Fizzgig?
Yeah.
Gremlins before they turn. Gremlin sage. A Mogwai.
A Mogwai.
Known as Gizmo is the perfect Mogwai since he's well-meaning and sweet. Mm-hmm. Do you remember Gremlins from the 1990s? Was this the 1990s or the 1980s? Damn it. You remember Gremlins from the 1980s?
I do.
I only kind of vaguely remember.
Oh, it's a good movie.
I know,
Yeah,
but like I haven't watched it since I was like at my cousins' houses who are older than me, who are from
in the 1980s. Did you watch it with nostalgia in their eyes?
Yeah.
Gotcha,
And
okay.
I see the images and feel the nostalgia, but like, do the Gremlins of 5e look like the Gremlins of Gremlins?
Kinda.
With the long, I've seen them, right? They're greenish. Yeah, 5e Gremlin.
We're in front of no. Oh, I don't know if it's come out in 5e. So just D&D Gremlin.
Oh yeah, that's a good search. D&D Gremlin.
Let's see.
Yeah, I've seen it. They're like, they look like the fucking thing from the movie.
Yep.
Okay, somebody did that on purpose.
Yeah,
right?
probably.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure. Small wrinkled tricksters and tinkerers, known for their aptitude at both building and destroying technology. Okay.
Final fact about the current Fomorian is their ability to pass their curse of degeneration and deformity onto others using a power called the Evil Eye.
Ooh.
A remaining vestige of the giant's once remarkable spellcasting ability, a creature cursed by the Fomorian's evil eye is magically twisted and deformed, gaining a glimpse into the pain and malice that has consumed this evil race.
Is this the first evil eye, like, sort of reference we're making in their D&D lore dive of this show? Like,
Yeah.
because you know how, like, the evil eye permeates, like, many cultures and stuff, like...
Does it?
Or
It's not something I've heard of.
fictions or something like the evil eye, you know?
Well, I mean, there's the Eye of Sauron.
Yeah, like stuff like that. Like,
Well, that's one. Do you got another?
yeah, but I don't want to go into it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking, like, is this the first, like, evil eye, like Vecna, the Eye of Vecna?
Yeah, the Vecna has an eye.
I guess so.
Yeah.
All right. I was just trying to see, like, is
If
this like a
there's a-
device that they're using throughout, like, multiple pieces of their lore?
No.
I think it's kind of,
No, not really.
but
I
not
mean,
really. Yeah, that's what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
It's like, this is like one of the first mention
Yeah.
of, like, the evil eye as,
and
like,
the Eye of Vecna is just a body part he lost when he got killed by Cass. So
but it becomes like because of that.
I guess
yeah.
it does become a symbol
Right.
for him. Yeah, and they have a fucked up eye too. So I guess so. I guess there's a similarity.
I guess
You
I was
wanna-
making a Dark Tower reference because,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
the Eye of the Crimson King, the evil eye, is
Yeah.
like, they call it different things, you know, that sort
Okay,
of, that sort of
gotcha.
deal.
That makes sense. You want to read the Fomorian stat block?
I do. I sure do. Fomorian. Huge giant. Chaotic
Again.
evil. Armor class, 14 natural armor.
Not bad. Not
and
bad
also-
for basically nude.
Basically, just got hard Luke Cage skin.
Yeah, exactly.
Not as good, probably. Hit
No,
points
not as good.
140
Luke Cage definitely has like 24 armor class.
He got
at
super nice
least.
skin.
Yeah.
The hit points are 149, which seems pretty good.
Yeah. Pretty hefty.
So pretty good so far.
Check out the challenge rating on that bad boy.
Speed 30 feet. Are we taking a gripe with that again? As like, should it
no,
be 40?
no, because of their
Oh,
deformity,
because of their
I would
deformities.
imagine not a problem.
Yeah.
Every other giant should walk faster.
We got a janky legs.
Yeah. Except for the fire giant. Fire giant shouldn't walk faster.
No,
He's-
it's stocky boys.
Yeah, Starky boys.
So a +6 to strength, a +0 to dex, a +5 to con, a -1 intelligence, a +2 wisdom, and a -2 charisma.
Interesting.
We have
That's
a
interesting spread.
+8 perception and a +3 to stealth. Okay. This is an odd spread.
Yeah, it's
some
not
balancing,
fitting the
strange
lore.
balancing
It's
things
like they
going on.
tried to go halfway between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like +8 Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Dark
Well,
vision.
their perception makes sense. Remember, they got
But the
sensory
stealth.
organ pointing in every
Where's
direction.
the stealth coming from on this with the +0 dex?
Yeah, they should be the opposite. Their dex should be bad, probably, right?
Their dex is average, 0.
Well, yeah, but it should probably be bad, and I don't see why they should be stealthy, particularly unless they're using magic.
I don't know. It's just +3 stealth. It's right there.
All right.
So the senses are dark vision 120 feet and passive perception is 18. Very good. They speak giant and undercommon, and their challenge rating is 8, which is fair. Their actions are multi-attack when the Fomorian attacks twice with its great club or makes one great club attack and uses evil eye once. Great club is a melee weapon attack with +9 to hit, a reach of 15 feet. Nice. One target, and the hit is 19 bludgeoning damage or 3d8 +6. The evil eye action is the Fomorian magically forces
There
a
we go.
creature it can see within 60 feet of it to make a DC 14 charisma saving throw. The creature takes 27 or 68 psychic damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a success. So that's good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So great club and evil eye, so it could like hit somebody in front of it and just like
And then
look
stare
over
at his
it.
friend
Yeah.
and turn him into a monster.
Yeah. So here's the curse of the evil eye, which is on a recharge of a short or long rest. So with a stare, the Fomorian uses evil eye, but on a failed save, the creature is also cursed with magical deformities. While deformed, the creature has its speed halved and has disadvantage on ability checks, saving throws, and attacks based on strength or dex. The transformed creature can repeat saving throw whenever it finishes a long rest, ending the effect on a success.
That sounds painful.
Is it okay? So like this magic, because you're thinking this magic deformity, like becoming like actualizing on the person would be like your skin starts to like bulb and stuff, and you would feel that,
I would imagine so.
and it wouldn't just be like snap and you look gross all of a sudden.
No, I don't think so.
You would like
because
your shit
part
would
of
like
the lore
grow
is that
and
the
warp.
Fomorians can give a taste of the pain that they've endured.
And that's what this is.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
so that's cool. So they've just been like
That's horrifying.
They get some janky legs.
Yeah.
then their speed is reduced by no, it doesn't say that, but like maybe
you can flavor however you want because you know the mechanics are the same. Like your speed is halved and all that other junk, but you know the deformities are probably kind of random, and I think it's up to DM discretion there.
That would be a cool random table to roll on.
Yes,
too.
it would be. That's a perfect thing for a random table.
Yeah,
I love that. It's you get 3 things off this list.
Here's a D100. I've spent all night making up Fomorian deformities to inflict upon thee.
Exactly.
Good job on your failed save.
If I were to use Fomorians, I would make a table.
That would be cool.
Or
that would be
I'd
really
probably
cool.
go find someone else's table and use that.
That was the end of the stat block. What would be on your table?
I just said I'd probably go steal someone else's table. And use them.
Okay. I would have big knees, like really big, oversized knees, hard to bend or
that's
pick up.
rough.
Yeah, dude, hard
That's
to move,
rough.
hard to walk. And like we could keep going with the joints and be like, you got big elbows or wrists.
That's true. Just
Can you imagine having like
random body.
bulbous wrists, like
That
you're
would be-
wearing Bowser
Oh,
bracelets?
you have Popeye arms.
Oh, what?
big forearms.
giant hands and tiny joints. Oh my gosh. Okay, for sure.
Any questions about Fomorians?
Not really. I mean, what the fuck?
I don't know how I feel. I like 4E Fomorians the best because
Okay.
they really lean into like their empires in the Feydark. And,
Yeah,
like,
okay.
They still wear clothes in the art, and so they look all regal.
I do prefer my giant humanoids to wear clothes.
Me too. I do as well.
It's always bad when the DM starts describing like giant naked bodies.
Yeah, it's not fun.
You can always see under the loincloth, and it's just like,
It's true. It's true. Let's get ready for a long rest.
okay. Welcome to bedtime. We're about to cure my giant ankles with sleep because I got cursed Fomorian slippies on.
Oh man, your slippies have been rough.
My
for the last
God,
few weeks.
when am I going to get some good slippies, my dude?
I mean, I can look at the schedule. We could find out right now.
I guess my illusion slippy could have been anything, and it was just like not good. It's just also not good. These slippies do randomly have like giant toes also, but not all of them, just some of them. Knobbly.
Yeah.
Knobbly.
Or some pointed in the wrong direction.
Fleshy slippies.
Is the skin purple like Fomorians?
Yeah, let's go with that. I got these purple slippies on. They may or may not smell. Right? Is that how that works?
Yes, they may or may not smell.
Okay. Hey, you like caffeine, right, Will?
I do like caffeine, actually.
And when
a
you're
little too much, in fact.
And when you're... I think many people...
I drink it constantly. It's ridiculous.
Many people...
I think I have a problem.
Many people drink many caffeine many time of the day.
Oh, God, we're doing this.
But there's a caffeine I want to recommend to you specifically.
Yeah.
And it's from the Adventures Coffee Company.
Wonderful. Tell me all about it.
I'm going to tell you all about the Adventures Coffee Company. Give me just a second while I pull up their website.
You should have had it pulled up in the first
It was pulled up, but I had to like switch over from... I was looking at Gremlins, dog.
Okay, all right. Sorry, my apologies. My apologies.
But now I'm looking at Dungeons and Dark Roast. My favorite thing to say on this entire
Yes,
page.
it is. Ah, man, I wish we could talk about some of the future ones coming up because they sound so good.
We will soon when we get the okay to do it.
so.
Yeah,
Okay,
it probably would be okay, but I don't.
But why risk it? It's not our product.
I don't want to upset them.
We can't be announcing things that ain't ours.
Thank you, Dungeons and Dark Roast, for sponsoring this long rest. We want to recommend you, the listener, to go to adventurescoffee.co/store and get yourself some good D&D themed brews, like the Dungeons and Dark Roast. And you can also get the Base Camp, the Fair Maiden, and the Bean to the Future. They also have gift cards. And if you use promo code Dungeoncast, you can get 10% off your next purchase of one of these very pleasant smelling bags.
Indeed.
Much more pleasant smelling than the things that we've been talking about on
For
the last few episodes. Yeah,
it's been some nasty stuff the last few episodes.
This is not that
this
at
is
all.
Not nasty.
Do you want to cleanse your palate from our like in-depth description of bad smells? Get some good smells, dude. Because when they send us coffee, which they have, and thank you very much, guys. When I open these up, I'm fucking flavor blasted right there on the spot. I'm transported to a fantasy world that is not fantasy. It's real life, and it's good smelling coffee. It tastes great too. So, and it gives me that good kick I crave. So yeah, go ahead and go to adventurescoffee.co/store and get yourself 10% off when you use promo code Dungeoncast for your next bag of D&D themed brew. Once again, that's Adventures Coffee Company. Go get it.
You got anything, Will?
I was just thinking right now, at least it wasn't as gross as the Zuckmoy episode. That's got to be our grossest episode.
That was the end of the promo.
Yes.
We're
now
the coffee.
just bantering.
I cannot stress enough how good it smells. It's like one of my the very first thing I noticed.
And it doesn't smell like Zuckmoy's grave.
No,
Cradle.
It doesn't smell like
cradle.
Zuckmoy's cradle.
That's an old episode.
That is an old episode. It's not. It's not that
old.
old.
It was this year, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like been Big Guy / Demon Lord. It's always Demon Lords up in here.
Demon Lords all the way down.
So many of them. They're all great.
Indeed.
But yeah, do we want to talk about any long resty style stuff?
Let's keep this long rest short.
Yeah, you guys know where to find our Patreon, our merch shop. You know where to find us on Instagram at the Dungeoncast. Well, that was Twitter. You get it. We got ad space opening up if you want to hit us up at thedungeoncast@gmail.com. And that's all I got for you guys. So leave us an iTunes review. Tell somebody about the show.
Please do.
Yeah,
those are the two main things right there. Those helps the most.
The most awesome stuff that you guys can do. So thank you very much. And have a wonderful day. And drink lots of Adventurous Coffee Company because it's good. And let's call it a game.
Let's call it a game. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Dungeoncast.
You ready?
Yeah.
We're back.
Try again. Don't we know? We don't say we're back. Do we? Like in the that's like after.
I guess we don't. It's just we've been recording so long. We're back.
We're back.
We're back. We're recording.
I don't know. I was like that. We've never started an episode like that. I was confused. I was like, I guess it's okay to say we are back.
All right, we can start over.
Okay, this is a good blooper.
Are you ready?
I was so confused. I'm sorry.
Well, I was gonna say we're back at it again with these damn giants, but I just stopped. We're back. I don't know.
Back at it again. Damn giant Daniel. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.